Stress is in your control. Yeah, it is a bold statement, but stress is in your control. And if you want to find out how, make sure you stick to the end. Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jelena. I'm a CEO of Life Food Balance, nutritionist, sociologist. But first and foremost, I was in a corporate space for over 15 years as a mother. I saw everything. I saw people literally falling down on the floor, having heart attacks, having strokes, having cancers, because they were living and breathing stress. And I was a part of that as well. Because when I was 35 years old, I gave birth to my baby girl, my second child, and I was so exhausted, not just by being a new mom, but because I was still working, I was trying to provide for my family, I was exhausted. The stress was running me every day, and I 100% thought that that was normal. Until I came back home to visit my family and found out that my dad has a stage 4 cancer. That's when I understood that stress is not normal. Stress is not something that we should be carrying proudly on our shoulders, saying it's just part of our lives. It's not. It's never should be, and it never will be. If you let it, it will. But if you stop it, you have control over it. Now, into today's video, I will share a personal story with you that it will explain to you, hopefully better, on why in 85% of the cases, people under 40 will experience burnout, anxiety, depression, stress, high cortisol levels. They will experience all these unexplained symptoms of fatigue and belly fat and autoimmune diseases and IBS and IBD and all of these symptoms. The root cause of that is stress. And I'm saying this boldly because I personally myself experienced that through my life and through my journey. When my dad was diagnosed from cancer, my stress was on a top peak of itself. I watched him pass away in front of my eyes, and it was the hardest thing that ever anyone can encounter. I came back to New Zealand, that's when we were living back then, and I said to myself, I will never ever let myself happen to come to this point that I'm suffering from degenerative diseases and I can't be in my kid's life. I started stripping everything. I started stripping gluten and dairy and sugar and starting eating all of the healthy foods, exercising like nuts. But what I didn't know is that the fear and the stress of getting sick were running my life. I was waking up at 3 a.m. with crazy thoughts in my head. Couldn't understand why. Why is this happening to me? I'm eating all of this healthy food. I'm exercising. I'm hydrating. Why is this happening? Until one day, I listened to this amazing podcast from Mo Gawdat, and it's called Happiness is a Choice. And that's where it just clicked. If you never watched the video, make sure to click the link below as I will put the video in it. It will blow your mind. But that's where it clicked. It clicked that the reason why nothing is changing in my life is me, not the circumstances. It wasn't about the food. It wasn't about the supplements. It wasn't about the exercise. It was up all here in my brain, because my brain was constantly feeling like it's been attacked by a bear, because it couldn't understand the difference between the real danger when you get chased by a bear, which is rarely happens, and when you're in perceived danger, when you're constantly trying to people please, when you're constantly responding to the emails at 8, 9, 10 p.m. because you're too busy throughout the day, when you're putting so much to-dos on your to-do list, feeling guilty, feeling exhausted, feeling like a failure feeling like you're not enough. Because yet again, you didn't do what was on your to-do list. And I was just like you. And I could feel the pain. I can feel the hurt. I can feel that control and perfectionism running enemy driving me mental. Until Mo Gawdat explained to it very nicely and said, happiness is your choice. Stress is in your control. And what way? Firstly, the reason why we are constantly stressed, why you are stressed, is because the reality of your life is not meeting your expectations. Now, this might sound very confusing, but let me give you an example. Let's say you are going for a wedding, for example. It's a beautiful wedding. You're looking forward to it. You're dressing, you're preparing, or maybe you're a bride or groom itself. And all of a sudden, whoosh, it starts pouring down in rain. What do you feel? You feel that jolt of unhappiness and disappointment and anger. And you start, why now? Why on this day? Oh my God. You just go crazy about it. What happened? Reality of rain didn't meet your expectation of this beautiful, perfect, sunny day where you will have the best day of your life, right? Or maybe you're coming into the office, you're in a pretty good mood, and you're expecting that the meeting that's going to happen with your boss will go quite smoothly because you prepared the presentation, you've done everything that needed, you send that email, and you feel, very confident in yourself. But then you come into the meeting and all of a sudden your boss starts tearing everything apart. That that wasn't good, the meeting wasn't great, the client had the problem, and all of a sudden again you feel that jolt. You feel that jolt of dissatisfaction, and that's not fair, and I gave everything. Why is this happening to me? Why are they picking up on me all the time? Again, reality of having a really good meeting didn't fulfill your expectations. Caused what? Stress. So what's happening in that particular moment? When you feel that jolt of unhappiness and stress, your brain is sending signals to your body. Hey, I need to run. This is a dangerous situation. Let's shut off all of our organs. Let's put all of our energy into our extremities, the hands, the feet, so we can run. Because your brain and your body doesn't understand the difference between the perceived danger and the physical danger. So usually during the meetings, when something like that happens, you get flustered, you start sweating, you start feeling very anxious and jitterish, right? That's because of that. Now, you must be wondering, I've been experiencing this my whole life. How should I freaking stop it? If you say that stress is mind control, how can I control it? There's very simple 3 easy steps that I would love for you to do every single day in the next 21 days and see how the stress is going to slowly and gradually disappear. Not doing entirely, because stress is completely normal part of our everyday life, but you will be in control with it. The first question that you need to ask yourself is this true? If it is, then the next question is, what can I do about it? So even if you think that you created the most amazing presentation, you've done that all, and if your boss is not happy, just ask yourself a question, what can I do about it? How about maybe after the meeting, you go and you book another meeting with your boss? Always come from love and gratitude. Because if you go into that meeting with positivity, with love and gratitude, and with a possible solution of what things can change, your brain will give you even more solutions because it's open to a possibility. But if you go cringe and you go stress and overwhelm and shut down and think all of these incessant thoughts in your head, like saying, oh, this is my boss, I don't like him, he's constantly bashing and smashing and not listening to us and not appreciating anything, which may or may not be true, but still, that's something you cannot control. You cannot control on how your boss will react to a different situation. You can't control on how he or she will perceive that meeting. That's out of your control. And that's when the third question comes in. What can I do about the situation I cannot change? So you can't change how your boss is feeling. You can't change anything about it. But what you can change is take another approach towards how you are perceiving that stress. That you need to understand it doesn't have anything to do with you. Anything. In 95% of the cases, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the things that your boss is dealing with. So if you stop perceiving that meeting as direct attack on you, you'll be much better off and you will be more into the zone of calming down, restoring and repairing. Now, I know that this is very difficult, and if you're watching this and still you are on the channel, I want to thank you for coming on and for understanding that this is in your control. Because when you get out of that meeting, I want you to stop and I want you to ask yourself these three questions. Is this true? If it's not true, drop it. Drop it. Find some other activities for your brain that will make you happy. If it is true, then the second question, what can I do about it? What can I do differently to change that situation? Because what happens, you're not letting your brain have intensive thinking. You're not letting your brain stress out about what your boss said or what they didn't say. You're in the productivity mode. You're in the positive mode. And then the third question, what can I do about the things that I cannot change? Remember the weather. You cannot change the weather. You can change only yourself and the way you perceive that event that is happening to you. And remember, nothing is happening to you. It's happening for you. When you switch that understanding, you're dropping the stress by 30%. By 30%. Because you are not letting it directly impact who you are as a person. I hope this makes sense, and I hope that these three questions you're going to carry in the back of your pocket every day, not just for your work environment, but for any environment you feel that jolt of unhappiness and stress. Write it down, put it in the back of your pocket, and when you feel that something is happening, when you feel you're getting stressed and anxious and depressed, pull it out and ask yourself the question, okay, is this true? What can I do about it? And what can I do about the things that I cannot change? These three questions, I'm telling you, will radically transform your life. I'm talking from the personal experience. Because when people ask me, okay, how long do you feel stressed? Sometimes a couple of minutes. Sometimes it can be a day, depending on the situation. But the most crucial thing I want to teach you, and this is my secret weapon, so make sure you stick to. I don't go to bed, I don't go to sleep until I make sure I resolved all of my stressful situation for the day. Because the least you want to do is go to bed and fall asleep with insensitive thinking I'm not good enough, I don't deserve this, I'm a failure, I'm a loser, I gotta fight with my husband, with my friends, with my kids. You don't want these thinking inside of your brain, because that is causing you fatigue and depression and stress and low energy and everything in the morning. So grab a piece of pen and paper before you go to bed and make sure you put all of your emotions out of that piece of paper. So then, when you sit down in your bed, you relax your shoulders, you take a deep breath, and you write 3 to 5 things you're grateful for. So then when you go to sleep, you're actually going with a positive thinking. Because as stress is your choice, happiness is your choice. Thank you for watching. See you next time.